You're listening to the Marry Your Best Friend podcast. I'm John. I'm sitting next to my beautiful wife of 34 years, Suzanne. And well, I'm kind of excited because this is episode 1 of season 2. I'm going to leave up our graphics just a little bit longer there just so you can really take in the beauty of the YouTube video live stream. There you go, Suzanne. Season 2, you made it.
Wow, we're fancy.
I don't know if we're fancy, but you did survive season 1, and now we're in season 2. We started this podcast a little over a year ago. By a little over, meaning a week and a year ago. And we took a hiatus between season 1 and season 2 because you were gone this past week. And we're going to talk about that. But the episode topic this time is one of us is getting older.
One of us?
One of us, yep. Well,
we don't both age?
No.
That
Everybody knows
work?
that once you hit a certain number, you can start counting backwards.
That's bull.
It is not bull. And I adhere to this strategy. And so
I embrace my age.
That's beautiful. But you did get older this past month.
As did you.
I celebrated. So first off, you went on a birthday cruise with a bunch of girlfriends.
Yes.
And first off, this was somebody else's birthday cruise that you horned in on because your birthday was actually right before the cruise and hers was back in December.
Right. They even celebrated me with cake one night.
Oh, they did?
So yeah, Lisa and I both got the birthday treatment.
That's
it was kind of fun.
Okay, so
because we've been friends for so long that we literally do things all together.
Yeah,
like
Lisa's
we
like a
do
sister. She's like, she's a sister. She's John Andrew's godmother. We've been through everything with this woman.
Almost
She's been
35 years.
I love Lisa
life
as much
with
as
her.
pretty much anybody in this world.
Mm-hmm.
And she loved us when she loved me when we were going through our really hard times and forgave me and embraced me and has continued to be my friend. She's awesome. She celebrates her birthday almost as much as you do. So she was all excited.
That she does, yeah.
It was her 60th birthday, and she looks good.
She looks great.
I mean, it's amazing what cosmetic surgery can do. She can.
She has not
she's
had
been
a
lifted,
stitch.
and she's been.
She has not had.
Done,
you
and
want
her
you
hair.
want her to have had all that stuff.
She's had all that suction stuff.
She hasn't had
her husband is a very
work.
successful author and makes a lot of money, and so the fact that she can get her hips like sucked, they stick that thing in there and they kind of suck it all out.
You're nuts. That woman was born
because of
tiny.
HIPAA laws. I'm sorry. Because of HIPAA laws, I'm not allowed to share.
I'm just putting this out there.
That I know about
she
Lisa's
has not
plastic
had
surgery.
One thing. She just looks fantastic.
Well, she does look fantastic. It's the West Virginia genes, but she's
just cute.
She invited you to go on. She said, "I'm going to invite a few girlfriends to go on a cruise. It's my 60th. We're going to celebrate." And she had the audacity of scheduling her birthday cruise in the middle of your birthday month.
I know. So that means that she had to share.
And then knowing that my birthday was also in February, and also Lisa knows that the only thing that's on my bucket list, I have one thing on my bucket list. I've done everything. I've been on every continent except for Antarctica. That's not even, like, the one thing that's above Antarctica on my bucket list, do you know what it is?
I don't.
To go on a girls' trip. Because girls have a blast when they go on trips. You guys got fun shirts.
You always want to be on the girls' trip.
Well, and so when she called, she goes, "Oh my gosh, it's my birthday on my 60th birthday, and we're going to do a cruise." I'm like, "Oh, Lisa, this is awesome. I love this. I can't wait to go." And she goes, "Well, it's just for my girlfriends." And I'm like, "Yeah, and me." And she never really let me go.
No, but she said
This
that
was
we're
like
going to
the
do
massive
a cruise with the husband.
Yeah, I don't like the husband so much. But no, because first off,
you just want to have fun with us.
Well,
we're
women and men go on vacations totally separately, conversations separately. If I'm at a party, I'd rather be sitting talking to the women about whatever they're talking about rather than
what
the
does
guys.
That say about you?
No, because the guys are going to be sitting there going, "What do you think about the Colts?" I don't care. Give a damn about the Colts. What do you think about the NFL? I quit the NFL about 2015. What do you do for a living? Great conversation that I can take about 5 hours to try to explain to them. Like, they just want to know, are you a doctor so you can help me? Are you rich so I can be nice to you? Like, men always say, "What do you do? What kind of sports do you like?"
It's because men find their identity in what they do for a living.
All I know is that a girls' trip with me would be pretty epic. And
you would totally set it where everything would be super fun.
Well, Lisa set it up to where everything was super fun.
She planned everything down to the, where we sat at dinner every night.
I do think it's funny, though, that you had I'm adjusting the camera here. Sorry, our producer is off today, COVID. But Lisa had everything planned. She had a great group of people. It started out being a small little group of girls, and then it ended up being 20 of you.
Yeah, there were 20 of us. And it was super fun because a lot of us brought our daughters.
Yeah, so Megan
know.
was there, and I saw Mallory was there, and Julianne, our daughter, was there. And you had, these are some dear old, just dear, I hate to use the word old, even though this is the episode
Old
on
friends
aging.
are best friends.
Awesome friends. You had a great time. I was so excited because I saw Tracy posted a group photo. I was like, oh my gosh, I paid thousands of dollars for this cruise. like when I say you went on a cruise, it meant that I was paying for not only you, but Julianne and all the other things that go with it.
Yeah.
The gratuities, the
We
spa.
enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah.
And I'm paying for it now.
I was so excited. I said, oh my gosh, there's a group photo. And I'm looking at 18 women going, I don't see where Suzanne is in the shirt that I know we paid for. You missed the photo with everybody in their cute
Well,
shirts.
I waited and waited, and then I had to pee. And this thing takes forever.
So these friends are so good.
They're so good.
So if you're not watching the video, Suzanne is, when she says this thing, it's her, Suzanne broke her shoulder
a month ago.
and
still in
she's
my
wearing
sling.
her sling. We're going to the doctor today. So hopefully we'll have some good news. But the big thing is you went on a cruise. And actually, when you were in the hospital, the very first thing you said to the doctor was, hey, can I go on my cruise?
I know. I was nervous.
You were all
I couldn't
excited.
go.
So you went on the cruise. And you missed the big photo of
Well, we
everybody in the
took
cute shows.
plenty of
Well, the funny thing is,
photos.
so they said, you know what, we're going to do it again. We're going to have a photo where everybody wears their black outfit, their black.
I missed that one too.
Yeah. And then I saw one where Tracy had like everybody in their white outfits.
I was in that one.
Were you?
Yes, I was in all the white outfits. We made it for that one.
Well, I think maybe she posted one with that.
No, we did a lot of photos.
Okay, so we got two things to talk about on this podcast. One is about getting older and things we've learned about aging, and those of us that don't age, I can share some wisdom around that. And then I also want to make sure we talk about
How to lie.
This absolutely is something we need to celebrate. 1 year. So a year ago, I bought the podcast equipment. I bought the books to read how to do it and all that kind of stuff.
Have you read them yet?
Not at all.
That's what I thought.
One thing I did see, though, I looked recently on the Google and
The
Google and asked.
That's how you
I asked
know
the
we're
Google,
old.
how can we make our podcast better? And do you know what? 67% of popular podcasts have one thing in common.
Oh, I know what this is.
What is it?
I know the answer.
What is it? Nudity? No.
Guests.
Guest. You are correct. So if we really want to grow our audience, here's the conundrum. If we want to grow our audience, we need to have some guests joining us, like some other couples. Like we can
I
have
think
friends.
people would jump at the chance to
We
be
would
on
have
our
friends.
podcast.
We could talk. We could invite like Ricky and Sarah.
Can we have callers? Are we set up?
We could have callers. We could do all that kind of
Is
stuff.
our studio set up for callers? That's what I wanna know.
Our studio has been built out for season 2. But you saw the fancy graphics. So yeah, we've got new
You
studio
spend
expansion.
way too much time on this hobby.
However, we could have all kinds of friends on here. Barack, Michelle Obama could talk about their marriage and how they love each other. We could go through a whole list of people who have good marriage relationships and that they're best friends.
So you think we're going to have some guests on season 2?
I don't think so. I don't know. Because the conundrum is, this is the part I was going to finish, then we'd actually have to put up with people. And the whole point of doing a podcast with you is that I get to spend time with you and have a nice conversation with you about
I
things
think
that interest
calling
me.
in is the best bet.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Because then they just get a short amount of time, and then you can just say, thanks for calling.
So out here at the Stewart Farm, we have had for the past 20 years very limited connectivity. We had DSL to beginning, and then we
oh
had,
my gosh, it was so bad.
and then we had
It's still bad.
satellite radio or satellite internet. Then we've got a thing now that is like an antenna on our house that beams to I'm not kidding, a silo. Our signal comes from like the top of a grain silo a couple miles away, and anytime the wind blows, we lose internet connectivity.
Yeah, and it's super windy today, so
Which is why
fingers
when we
crossed.
first started this podcast, we were doing a live podcast, and we could see people's comments.
I think
on
we
that
only
stuff.
did that once or
We
twice.
did because we lost connectivity.
Yeah.
But thanks to President Joe Biden and the infrastructure plan that has been approved, or COVID funding under Trump, I don't know however it happened, but guess what? I saw a truck across the street that was laying fiber optic
I
cable.
think the reason that they're laying fiber optic is because they're bringing neighborhoods out to
Sure
our
they are.
sweet little
But here's what
quiet
happened. So
area.
where we live, we are kind of in BFE.
No man's land.
We're in no man's land. But what's interesting about it is we have a Noblesville mailing address.
Mm-hmm.
We are in Wayne Township, which is an unincorporated township, and we have a 765 area code, which is out of Anderson. And across the street from us is 317 area code. We're 765 area code. So I remember about 10
And
years
our
or 12 years
kids
ago.
went to HSCs.
Fisher schools.
Yeah. So it's
But the whole point
bizarre.
is, I called one time I called AT&T and said, hey, your telephone pole's right across the street from my house. Is there any way I can get a 317 number? And they said, well, we can do that. We just need an act of Congress. Because evidently,
act of Congress?
Yeah, because we're in an area that's deemed a different area code, different carrier, because there's a different carrier on this side of the street than is on that side of the street. So when I saw the fiber optic going in across the street, I was like kind of excited. Then they put it at the corner of our property. And we have applied for the Indiana connectivity
Well, we're
rule.
waiting for. I mean, we've got they came and put
they
the
measured
flags out and
now
everything.
we're waiting for our installation slot.
It's been a month, but we'll see.
We're talking about aging, and only old people would talk about their internet service as long as we have. But
I'm
it
ready
seems
to
that we're going to
move
have
on.
fiber optic pretty soon.
That'd be great.
And when we do, we can do live, we can do chats, we can do video calls. I can bring on all kinds
Season
of guests.
2 is just going to be
So email
blow
us,
your
text
mind.
us, Instagram us, reply when you watch this video or on the podcast. Let us know what guests you think we should have. I think
or what topics we should talk about.
Yeah, I think we have some guests that I would really like to bring on. So anyway, let me just recap season 1 real quick. There are a couple things that I found interesting. So our podcast is available on all these different formats. You probably don't know this, but like Apple Podcasts,
Yeah, I
Google
know.
Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere people listen to podcasts, they can listen to it with audio.
Yep.
And then we have YouTube. And just recently we started putting our little clips on TikTok and those sort of things. So here's some interesting
producer
things.
is doing
We've got two different things here. One is the YouTube stats, and the other is the stats of the actual
Look
podcast.
at you. You have like charts and things.
Producer gave this to me before he
I'm
got
telling
sick.
you, you're spending a little much time on this.
What do you think is the most popular, most listened to episode out of season 1? We had 20
We
episodes.
talked about this last time.
Yeah, one of us loves to poop. Hard to
Yeah.
believe. One of us needs more Jesus, and the other was number 2.
Really?
Yes, and then I don't know what this says about us, but episode 2, We're Terrible Parents, was the third most listened to. What's interesting is, if you look at this chart, we have listeners.
Not me going to jail? I really thought that would be a big
Well, I didn't call it Suzanne Goes to Jail. I'm saving that for the cardboard book for kids, you know?
What to do if your mom gets pulled over?
No, I'm writing it from.
And they put
I'm
her in
writing
a car.
I think a cardboard book of Farm Girl Suze Goes to Jail would be a really fun one.
I think just Sue's isms is
Yes.
what you should do.
But I looked at it. If you see this continent map, okay, it says
Nobody
that.
can see that.
Well, I'm not expecting them to see it, but a majority of our listeners are in North America. However, we do have listeners in South America, Africa, Europe, Asia, 18 listeners in Asia. That would include Pakistan, India, those type of places. And Oceania, which is Australia, New Zealand area. So, like I said, everywhere except for
Antarctica.
which I think that justifies me spending money and going to Antarctica at some point
To
in time.
promote
But here's what's interesting.
podcast.
The geography, when I look at the actual breakdown of views outside of the United States, what do you think is the next country that people listen to us?
I don't know, England.
Yes, United Kingdom.
I am on a roll today.
I know.
Put me on Jeopardy.
6.8% of our listeners are in the United Kingdom. 3.5% of our listeners are in India.
India.
And then Canada.
Wow.
And then Germany. And then it goes down from there. Australia, Netherlands, South Africa, Sweden, Bangladesh. Evidently, we have a listener in Bangladesh. So here's the other thing that was really striking. How old do you think our viewers are? Our
Probably
listeners?
our age, I would assume. 40s.
Okay, so the 45 to 54-year-old, which is below us,
How did you find all this, by
is
the way?
14.1% of our audience. The actual age, because I always tell people our podcast is targeting a 55-year-old married female.
That's our demographic.
That's our demographic. Evidently, the stats show that we're not hitting that demographic. Only 9.1% of our listeners are in the 55 to 64-year-old range. So less than 10% of our people are our age. A majority of our listeners, I don't understand this, 25 to 34-year-olds are 29.5%. Now, it may be somebody like me who lies on Facebook or YouTube.
I think maybe they are
22%, so 22.5% are 35 to 44. So basically, half of our audience
I think
is
they're
under the
listening to
age
us.
of 44.
I think they're listening to us so that they don't make the same mistakes that we
Yeah.
did.
That could be very true.
We're providing guidance.
Well, and based on a comment that I saw, so I looked on YouTube the other day, and one of our videos had an interesting comment there that said, "Well, J.K. Sims was nice. Y'all are amazing. Keep it up." And somebody said our production
We
song
know
was
them.
song. Yeah, and then one is from Leroy. Who is this beautiful? Yeah, which is this episode is on aging. Who is this beautiful old lady? She is my type.
Do we know this person?
I don't know Leroy 0070. He's 0070.
Shout out to Leroy.
And then whoever Mad Hatter is cool, I think that's my friend Tracy because he sells hats.
Oh.
Wayne Cloth. He goes, bro, WTF. Like the whole thing. I think if you're watching this podcast, you probably kind of know that Suzanne's taken. But
yeah,
who is this old lady?
Yeah, I'm an old lady.
You're his type.
I'm his type.
So anyway, I think those video stats and some of the audio stats are pretty interesting. 80% of our listeners are doing so on an Apple iPhone. Only 11% are Androids, which tells you our
You think
boys.
people want to hear what you're saying right now?
I don't think they want to at all. But I'm sitting here pondering the fact that our kids use Android phones and they're not listening to us, I guess. So
would you listen to your parents? Well, you probably would.
I would totally listen to my parents, even though thinking about your parents having like intimate moments, it kind of grosses all of us out.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that.
Okay, so one of us is getting older.
Both of us are getting older.
One of us is getting older.
Both of us are getting older.
Suzanne's birthday, it's kind of hard, being hurt and everything.
It was the worst, I got to say. I love my birthday month. Yep. I like to celebrate. This year was kind of, it was the shits.
Was it? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it really was.
We don't really use that word in our podcast.
You made it great because...
Talk more a little bit about that.
Talk more about that. Yeah. You made it great because you still made me feel special because I like to be the princess on my birthday.
And you got cards from all the animals?
I got cards from everybody, and you gave me, and the kids gave me really hilarious, thoughtful little gifts, and I got flowers, all the things that I really love. And it made life so much better because they were all really fun things and things that were appropriate for my situation at this particular juncture.
So you made the best of it. You went on a cruise. You had a great time on the cruise.
Yeah, and the thing is, the cruise was planned like last summer, so I was really scared about going because at that point, I wasn't totally like being able to dress myself. I didn't know if I could get my swimsuit on. I just didn't know how it was going to go.
And our daughter went as a helper too.
She did, and she was really helpful, and I did really well. I was more tired probably than everybody else on the cruise and had to kind of bow out of a few things. But
okay, you did tell me the 60-year-olds were staying up, closing down the bar at 2 in the morning.
They were like, yeah. And I was like, dude, it's dark. I'm going to bed. But I've been that way forever.
You did send nice pictures from your balcony looking at the ocean and the beach and all that
enjoyed
kind of
it so much. It was nice to have a break, but having the broken shoulder, I mean, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but it's a hitch in my get along. I'm not loving it.
Is that a new ring on your finger I've not seen?
I was wondering how long that would take you to notice that.
At what point did we give ourselves that Christmas or birthday gift?
That is from Jamaica.
Lovely.
And it's really kind of cool.
I was noticing. Well, first off, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm noticing the bling the sling that you got going on.
Yeah, Julianne blinged my sling out. She got pins for all the.
And then as I'm looking at the bling the sling, I'm noticing this new precious jewel that's on your finger. We'll talk about that later. So okay, so you went on a cruise. You bought some nice jewelry. You had a good time.
Yeah.
And then looking at that on your finger, I'm now wondering where the extra cash that you needed was required on literally during the cruise. Hey, I'm worried.
No, I got it. It wasn't. What
but I shouldn't say this. But one thing about Suzanne, if you've listened to this podcast long enough, you realize that Suzanne kind of keeps score when we spend money and we do certain things. So an example of this. Let's say I buy a new pair of cowboy boots or new chaps or, God forbid, a saddle.
I could have so much for what a saddle costs.
Then go, saddles are not cheap. You can get another car. But you then go, oh, wow, I love your new chaps. They're so beautiful. I love them. Oh, those look great on you. How much did you spend on those? And then that somehow gives you permission to spend the same amount of money. If I come in with a new sweater, it's like, oh, well, I'll go get something else. And usually you already have it picked out under your bed. You've already hidden it.
Sometimes I have little, backup treats.
But the whole point of this is you were on a cruise. My birthday actually happened on the day you got back from your cruise.
I know, but let's
and
back
you
up.
feel
Whoa,
feel bad about my birthday.
Let's back up. Do you like your birthday?
I celebrate
You
things.
very seldom celebrate. But if you do celebrate, you
backwards.
celebrate alone. Like you don't like the
I have been
hoopla.
known to go on a road trip or a hiking I've been
pretty much every.
I've been known to
birthday
take
that
my
I've
horse
known
trailer
you.
and just kind of disappear for a couple of days.
Yeah.
I do. I like to journal. I like to plan. I like to kind of think through
Whatever. You've gone to Africa. You've done horse trips. You have gone camping, even
on
like
my birthday.
way back in the day.
I did go to South Africa for my birthday.
You generally vacate because you're not a fan of your birthday.
Right. And so this year, I decided to actually go out for my birthday and celebrate a little bit.
YouTubers need to take notice. Look at how cute you are.
Yeah, so I'm now sporting the Manchester United jersey. Turned out that Manchester United was playing on the 24th. My birthday was on the 25th, so I decided to go over to Manchester, flew over Friday evening, came back Sunday, enjoyed a wonderful game, got to see a friend who lives over there, Jennifer, and her husband Morris.
You went with your
One of my
bestest bud.
best of buds, Cliff, is a Manchester United fan. When I was deciding that I was going to follow the Premier League, he was already a Manchester United fan. I kind of surveyed the teams, evaluated the ownerships, would decide which one I wanted to go. I think I've shared this story before, haven't I?
Yes, you have.
So I chose Tottenham Hotspur. Well, first off, I couldn't choose teams like Liverpool or Chelsea or Arsenal, the teams that Cliff absolutely hated because he's my dear friend. I didn't want him hating me. It'd be like, a Cowboys fan being friends with a, Steelers fan back in the Bradshaw, Staubach days. But Tottenham Hotspur, their fans are the most boring people I've ever met in my life. You've got a great logo, but your fans are awful. Manchester United, when I went to that party, these guys drink beer at 7 a.m. And it's an incredibly diverse crowd. Our group has people from Africa and Malaysia.
All
and
I know about
England.
it is that it's, David Beckham's.
Yeah. You watch the documentary, so that's good. But anyway,
I knew that before.
So then when I decided that was my team, I went all the way in. So I did call Cliff. Cliff is in the process of moving, selling his condo in Atlanta, moving to St. Petersburg Beach, got a new job, all this kind of stuff. I said, hey, Cliff, what are you doing next weekend? It's my birthday weekend. Yours is the following week. And he goes, I can't do anything. I'm moving. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, well, I'm moving. I got to go to Atlanta. I'm going to be driving back and forth. I don't have time to spend with you on your birthday weekend. I said, well, that's too bad because I have 2 tickets for the game on Saturday. And he goes, what time are we leaving? So sure enough, we left 4:30, 5 o'clock on Friday and got there 8:30 on Saturday morning. We had
That's
great
craziness.
Time. And the great thing is, so not only do I have this cool jersey that you bought me that you didn't know you bought me.
Kind of like you bought me the ring that you didn't know you bought me.
Yeah. And then, but however, Suzanne.
We like to purchase and
so
say,
I go
hey, this
all the
is
way.
from
I
you.
go all the way over to England, and I'm going to back up. When we were first married, you decided to throw me a birthday party one year. You remember
I'm
this?
so bad at all
You
of
decided
this.
to throw me a birthday party, and it was a surprise birthday party. And I have to say, in all of the years of surprise birthday parties, you have figured out the best way to surprise somebody on their birthday. Do you know what the trick is?
To not do it on their birthday.
Do it like a week or two later. Like after their birthday is all the way over.
You're
and
impossible to.
No, I'm in the shower in our apartment in Nashville, Tennessee. And
We were newlyweds.
We were newlyweds. We had a small little 1-bedroom apartment with like a little studio
learning to
thing.
navigate your whole disposition.
And I
is not
walked
easy.
out of the bathroom with a towel around my waist, and there's a group of people in our family room. And they go, surprise!
I know, I gotcha.
Yeah. Just what somebody wants to see is Gary and Carol McSpadden standing in my living room when I'm in a towel.
They weren't there. It was just like 5 people.
Just like 5 people.
It was Sean and Penny and
Our early friends in Nashville. All I know is I'm in a towel.
some of the DC Talk guys.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Kevin was there. Anyway, so then I change
It was
clothes.
super fun.
We have a nice party, as many people as you can squeeze into a little tiny apartment. And afterwards, I said, hey, babe, when did you decide to throw me a birthday party? And you said, I don't know, like a day or two after your birthday. I realized you kind of sucked and didn't really have a good birthday, so I thought I'd throw you a party. So this year, I travel. I get the tickets. I get incredible, and I can talk for an hour about the suite.
Yes, you could.
The Marriott suite that we are guest of. Traveling with Marriott over 37 years, they actually...
Yeah, they bump you up a little.
I got a suite. It was awesome. But anyway, not at the hotel. A suite at
the game.
At the game. At the hotel, we had twin beds side by side. Cliff was on one side and I was on the other. Yeah. And whenever I said whenever they asked what room you're in, we said 415. But it's not that kind of a...
Did you keep... Not that there's anything
Yeah,
wrong
not that there's
with it.
anything wrong with that. But anyway, so I plan the trip. I go over there. I fly over there. I'm there. I have a great time. I come back. And you said, I ordered you a birthday gift. It's not here yet. It'll be here in a couple of days. And a couple of days arrives. And what do you know? You gave me a Manchester United pajama set that I could have worn while I was there. You gave me some nice Manchester United pictures. It would have been great if I would have taken it there with me.
I know, but it didn't come. I thought they were going to cancel it.
Hold on. They didn't come.
They didn't come.
I know, but when did you order it? Was it before my birthday or was it actually after my birthday? At what point did you decide to order my birthday gift?
It was
after you celebrated your birthday. It was my birthday.
It was your birthday.
On the actual.
But I was gone.
You ordered it on the birthday. Amazon is good, but they didn't bring it on my birthday?
Well, no, because when I looked at it, it said it would be delivered next day.
Back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to all be here before you.
You just thought, as long as I beat John, as long as I get it here before he lands.
Exactly. And they screwed me over.
All right. Well, it's not every year that you get to celebrate 50. That's what I told people. It's not every year you get to celebrate 50.
In your case,
you only celebrate 50.
You get to celebrate 50 I don't know.
No, I think,
8 years in a row.
I think what I said was, yeah, it's not every day you get to celebrate 50. But look, even though you didn't get me anything, the hotel.
I got you something.
Not before my birthday.
Not before your birthday, but I wasn't here.
You gave me an early gift for next year's birthday. But the hotel gave me this nice sucker scarf. It says happy birthday from the class of 92. So there you go. All right, do I look ready? I'm ready for the game. Here we go. Let's play a game.
So.
Okay, so I got some questions here for you.
Okay.
These are about aging. How do you feel about getting older?
I think it sucks.
Do you think that age
blows? Not excited.
Really? But you look great. You look better now than you've ever looked.
Oh, yeah. You're just saying that because I'm crippled.
No, I'm serious. And I don't think you can use that term anymore.
You can't?
No, the crippled people are going to be offended.
Okay. I'm wounded. I'm injured.
So do you think that age is just a number, or does it have more significance? I mean, like,
I think it definitely has more significance. If you could go back, would you choose, if I could go back, I would want my body from when I was 22 years old.
I remember that body.
Yeah, so do I. It's about a quarter of this body. If I could have my body of 22 years old, but I would never trade my experience and knowledge and what I know now. I much prefer the state of mind of a 57-year-old than I do the state of mind of a 22-year-old. I
do find it humorous that, like, God made men to have their sexual peak at 21 when they don't know anything.
Yeah.
Like 18 to 21, those guys don't know anything.
They need a woman to teach them.
Well, there you go, The Graduate.
Yep.
But then, like, when
my window, remember? Let's go back to my window.
I do remember. But why do you? I mean, it's unfair that men get better looking as they get older.
And they do. They do. Like,
I think, said that, but yes.
No, I would agree with that, actually.
So is there anything that gets easier or harder as you age? What's getting easier for you?
Oh, everything is harder.
But what's getting easier? You've realized that once you pass 55, you have a, I don't give a...
Yeah.
I almost said the F word there, but I don't give a F. No, you don't care as much about certain things. You don't care about what people think. You don't care
about... My F bucket is empty. I don't really, it's fine. If you don't like it, well, kiss my grits.
But most things do get harder as you age.
The whole thing of, like, not being as quick and dexterous and, that's hard, especially for me because I like to do things on my own. I don't...
Yeah.
Who
do you think's aging well? I mean, who do you think has aged well? Who do you want to be like in that way? I mean, who's aged really well?
Your parents. Holy cow.
Yeah, they did kind of age well. But I'm thinking about, like, famous people and stuff like that. I do like the fact that some of these guys...
Paul Rudd doesn't look like he's aged a day in his life.
I do hate some of those friends that I have on Facebook that I go, why are they not aging? Like, why are some of these people... obviously,
my friend from high school, Christy McCall.
Still looks the same?
Exactly. She looks the same. Lisa... looks great. I mean, I have a lot of friends that just look fantastic,
Dolly Parton. How is Dolly Parton still looking good?
Dolly Parton has a good surgeon, I'll tell you that.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
But she looks good.
Yeah, of course she looks good. She's Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
She is the Lord's favorite.
But I do like this trend of, like, the Steve Carells of the world and all these people who are...
embracing their gray.
Embracing their gray.
Yeah, I like it too.
I really, when I saw that became a fashion trend and started coloring my hair gray several years ago, I think it is noticeable. People do notice. The silver fox is what, if you remember.
I do remember.
Yeah, somebody described that to me. So what do you think about dressing your age? Because I will tell you, Dolly Parton, when she performed at the Cowboys halftime show, and she was wearing the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader outfit,
She looked pretty great.
it was a great novelty.
Yeah.
But didn't part of you cringe that you're saying, why is Dolly Parton dressing like...
I think if it might have been somebody else, but since it was Dolly Parton and she looks so cute and you just know that she's just Dolly Parton, that everything is acceptable for her.
I think it's probably good that the merry-go-round is no longer in business.
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine me wearing
so
merry-go-round?
bad.
I'd be like in parachute pants and those
So
zipper
gross.
pants.
No, but here's the thing. I think that
Bet I could find an old
if you are dressed appropriately for your age, that it should also match your body type. You know? And there are people that are in their 30s that dress frumpy, you know, but if you have a classic style, I mean, there's just something about dressing classic instead of dressing the fad. You can have a few things that are faddish and feel like you look young. I mean, I've ordered some things off of TikTok and go, that's pretty fun, you know, and I'll wear it or whatever the trend is, but I'm not going to be wearing any booty shorts. Or,
I like those ones that say pink.
Or crop tops or anything like that. I mean, that's just inappropriate. But I'm also not going to cut my hair. And, you know, because I'm over 50, why do people feel like they have to cut their hair and get that old lady haircut, you know?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
you just dress the way you dress, and it's fine.
I do. I'm either in cowboy boots or
You're cute
loafers.
patootie.
But I do think the merry-go-round thing, sometimes it does bother me when I look at some of these older ladies who aren't embracing their age. If they're in their 50s and their 60s and they're dressing like, you know, they're high school kids, and it's just, there's nothing attractive about that. But
No.
How has your perspective on life changed as you've gotten older?
Things don't matter that mattered before. You know, you just have to sort of look at it and go, you know, tomorrow is going to be another day that I have survived. And the things that I look back at when we first got married, I think of in fact, I just thought of this recently, which makes me laugh because of this whole sleeping arrangement that we've had lately, which I am still not a fan of, but kind of can't help.
Okay, by sleeping arrangement, you're talking about the fact that you have a broken shoulder.
Yeah,
and you're sleeping in a chair.
I've been in a chair,
and I have moved to the guest room
because
which
it's
over
just
our
easier.
marriage there's one other occasion when I moved to the guest room.
And it was not a happy occasion.
Well, he was happy you were pregnant and you couldn't sleep with me in the bed.
Yeah, whatever.
Sleeping with
It's sleeping with a whale. You know,
I was going to say walrus, but yes,
same thing. I mean, it's just horrible.
A whale is probably less hairy, but but you were trying to get comfortable. You couldn't get all the pillows comfortable and all that kind of stuff. So you keep flopping around. I never ended up getting sleep.
Same deal
I moved to the guest room, and we would call each other. I would be downstairs because we were in Portland, Oregon at the time, and I was in a basement.
I forgot about that.
And I would call you.
forgot.
And I've always told married people who are expecting their baby. I always tell the man, hey, about a month out, move.
Yeah.
Go to the guest room.
Mama needs to rest.
Let her, because if she doesn't rest, she's not going to let you sleep if she thinks you're sleeping. So I gave you the bed, and then now that we're going through this, I'm also giving you the opportunity to have the downstairs all to yourself, and you're sleeping in the chair. You got the TV going.
I have to have so many things. Like there's medicine, and I can't reach things, and it's a whole thing. But anyway,
and we can talk in another episode about how much I'm embracing this because it's awesome.
You love it because I snore.
I have my own temperature.
That room is a sauna, and it's so
great.
Horrible.
And you've decorated the guest room so great because I wake up and I see all the pictures of all my kids and parents, and it's just a lovely room.
Okay, so anyway, we're sleeping apart.
Yes.
And circle back. Yes. And I was thinking when we first got married, I used to think that we had to go to the grocery store together. Mm-hmm. Like when you get married, these were the things that you did together, you know, and you went to bed at the same time and blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
That was not so because you like to stay up, you like to lay on the sofa and everything. And I remember one night I was so fed up and I don't know why I did this, but I was so mad. All I could think to do was take all of your clothes out of the closet, and I just threw them at you all over the living room. And I said, if you just want to live out here, then just live out here. You just don't want to be with me. And I'm thinking, I would never do that now. That's how aging and growing together, how that changes, your whole perspective on you having a good night's rest, me having a good night's rest. We just need that to survive and make it through the day. Don't make a big deal out of little piddly things, whether it's with your kids or...
I've been told not to cut you off in our comments, so I'm letting you tell that story. But as I'm sitting here, I'm going, you can't even get to my closet today.
Yeah.
Because my closet's under the stairs.
No
You got to crawl over things and things of that nature.
But I mean, what my point is that you just,
I get it.
You move on. Those things aren't important anymore.
What are some unexpected joys about getting older that you've discovered with age? I mean, I love having a relationship with our adult kids.
I was just going to say that was going to be mine, for sure.
Now, first off, I miss when I see somebody with 5 and a 6-year-old and they're having fun and they're just going nuts. And when I see somebody who's got a baby and they're tired, I'm like, I want that again.
Yeah.
I miss that so much. But our kids,
they have turned into some really awesome,
all 3 of them,
adults.
And then our married daughter, our new adopted married,
our married daughter.
No, I'm just talking about our
bonus daughter.
Our bonus daughter. I love our kids.
Yeah.
John Andrew comes and feeds the horses. He's always got a great story to tell. Jay Daniel is just hilarious. Julianne is just blossomed.
She has, in the last 9 months or so, year maybe, I have just seen her personality just like come into full view. And she was so great on this trip. And all of the people that were on there had never been around her before, because by the time she, came along, we were gone from Nashville. And so they just fell in love with her. She's just, she's got a hilarious personality. And so I agree with you definitely that, that full circle of your kids coming back to you. You've lived through the 15-year-old saga. You've lived through puberty. And now, you're having real conversations.
I think I'm going through menopause.
Oh, God.
It's like I'm starting to forget things.
Menopause.
I am. I'm starting to forget things. And like the other day, you've always kind of misplaced things and not been able to find them.
I can't remember anything.
And you'll come up and go, I don't know where my glasses are, and they're sitting on top of your head. That's kind of a common thing.
Oh, yeah.
I literally took out my iPhone the other day, and I had the flashlight. I was like, I can't find my phone. Like, I cannot find my phone. It was driving me nuts. I can't find my phone. So I used the flashlight on my phone to look for my phone, and I'm literally looking at my phone, looking underneath things.
For your phone that you were using?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how many times I've done this where you're talking on your phone and you can't find your phone, but you're talking on your phone. So I was watching the TikTok
I think that
the
makes
other
us
day.
old.
And this lady made a video and she was talking about, you're old when, and she said, I pulled in my driveway and my car wasn't there. And I was like, oh my God, where's my car? Somebody's stolen my car. She was driving her car. And she pulled in her driveway and didn't know where her car was. Yeah. So I think we all kind of hit that. What happened to my memory mark?
Well, that was a Nashville story. When I called and said, Suzanne, I can't find my car at the airport. And you said, didn't you drive to Atlanta? So here's a question for you. How do you maintain relationships? I thought this was a good question. How do you maintain relationships with friends and family as you age? Because it's like when we were married in Nashville, because we still do have a lot of friends in Nashville, because that's where we started out. We made a good couple friends there, and we've continued to go back and, we're blessed with friends there. We're blessed with friends in Texas, all over. But how do you maintain these relationships as you get older? Because you've got a few really good girlfriends.
I've got different pockets of really good girlfriends. Yeah, I have Texas girlfriends that I love and adore, and we still talk and email and text and whatever. And then I have Nashville girlfriends, and then I have my super group here at home.
But you think about your mom, because your mom, when we first got together, I was always impressed that she had a couple really best girlfriends.
Yeah, since her childhood, basically.
So Mickey was a best friend. She could talk to her about everything. But she would have these different friends. And
Barbara.
Barbara, and you go through these different women who were so close with her. Mm-hmm. Even us moving to Indiana, her relationship with Gloria was, it's like when she comes here, she wants to see them even more than us, I think.
Yeah.
But I remember being young and going, wow, these people have been friends for many, many years. When we moved to Nashville, all the old gospel people that we knew were
friends of my family.
They were in their 50s.
Yeah. Oh, God, our age.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I remember going, that was the old time gospel people.
Yeah.
The old Southern gospel people. Now it's all about contemporary Christian music and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And it was another generation. And I think I'm amazed that as we are that other generation now, our kids are in their 20s. They're experiencing that. And it's...
Yeah, but think about John Andrew and Jay Daniel, and really Jules, but she's not as far out of high school as the boys are. They're good friends with their buddies from high school.
Yeah.
I mean, they still talk all the time, probably every day. Jay Daniel gets with his buddies 2 or 3 times a week, and they do their...
But I don't think God could have given us more different kids than us, because I'm sitting there going, at 27, at John Andrew's age, I was at Word. We're,
oh, yeah,
playing golf every day, doing the whole thing. But
he has his own career.
Yeah.
But I think social media, as much as I don't want to give them credit, I think social media has made it so much easier to stay in contact or to reconnect with people that otherwise you would have to well, that sounds terrible, visit or make a phone call, but it makes it easier to connect and then, maybe go and visit and spend time together.
Let me ask you a few more questions here. What are you most looking forward to in the years ahead as a couple? Because this program really is about relationships and best friends and marriage and all that kind of stuff. But what are you looking forward to as a couple? I mean, we've seen my parents' age. We saw my father pass at 89, almost 90. My mom's, 90 now. And we saw them hold hands and be married for 70 years. I think right now, I mean, our 35th anniversary will be this summer. I think we got a good shot at making it to 50 before you kill me. I do.
Yeah. I think being together, just being together and being satisfied being together and content, that's what I want. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be, granted, we have great adventures and probably more than the average Joe, because of what you do for a living and stuff like that. But just being content to be with one another, there's an episode of Everybody Loves Raymond where Deborah and Ray go on an anniversary dinner, and all they talk about is the density of the butter and the bread. And Deborah is so upset because she says, what if we don't have anything in common? What if we have nothing to talk about? And then later in the show, they see, Marie and Frank just sitting at the table eating a sandwich, not talking, and yet it's beautiful, and that's kind of what I think we can be. If we sit at a dinner and we don't have that much to say, there's nothing wrong with that. We're together.
Yeah, we are. So another question here is, how do you stay mentally sharp and engaged as you age? And this made me think about something, because it's I was not prepared at 18 or 25 years of age I thought as you got older, everything got older.
What do you mean?
Well, that mentally your mind would age.
Oh, no, I still feel like I'm 25 in my head.
That's what I'm saying. It's and you look at the mirror and you go, wait, that's not the person. But what's interesting to me, though, is the people that I know that are old now, they were old at 18.
That's true.
I've got some friends who...
That's true.
And my friend that I was with Saturday night, she's awesome. Jennifer, she was always smarter than Scott and I. She was on the highlight staff, doing newspaper, all that kind of stuff. She's a writer. She's very creative. But she's always been much more intellectual. And her age, if Scott is a lifetime 17-year-old, which I think he probably is, my lifetime age is probably 20s, young 20s, whatever.
I think so.
Jennifer's always been in her 30s. She's always had good decision-making skills. She's always been... I
kind of feel that way about me. I mean...
But everybody has a life age.
Yeah.
And when Doug Bowles and I worked together,
life age.
We do. Doug is a 14-year-old. It's if you look at his social media feed and all of a sudden you see when it's raining outside, he's driving in the Indianapolis Motor Speedway issued Chevrolet given Tahoe, he's got like a wakeboarding rope tied up to the hitch, and he's driving one of his kids through the ditch.
Yeah.
Or he's driving in the snow. He's a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
Now, he is also the president of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and he's energetic and all that stuff. But in his heart, he's 14.
Yeah.
Scott really is about a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
So what do you think your life age is? I mean, like, seriously.
I think I'm probably like 35.
You are?
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe a little.
Like cranky old men, they've always been that way. My
Yeah.
friend Doug Wilson, okay, that guy can Dutch oven cook better than anybody else.
Absolutely,
He can
man.
do-
I'll take
he-
his peach cobbler
Oh my
any
gosh!
day of the
And
week.
he can go down. He's member of that. The Blacksmith Society.
Yeah.
So you go down to the state fair. There he is. He's always been that guy.
That guy, yeah.
You know, he's to me 55-year-old man. You know, he was a 55-year-old man when we were in a youth group together at the Carmel United Methodist Church. He was that guy.
I will always want to have a good time, but even as a teenager or early 20s, I was not one to like go to the club or whatever, do that kind of stuff. I want a nice dinner.
Springfield, Missouri. I almost worked at a club. You remember that?
Yes, I do. And and when it gets dark outside,
Please tell me we've
I'm
shared
ready
that
to go
story
to bed.
before.
We have
Okay, good.
totally shared.
We're not doing that one again.
No.
My dad, when you think about it, so then I start thinking about it.
We
So
did
my
that on
dad,
jobs.
at 89 years of age, before he passed, still had the same sense of humor as he always had. We're still
Pull my
playing
finger.
jokes. Yeah, but his humor, his jokes, his things, he was, and you start looking at your parents in a way that's like, my dad's life age was probably like 20, 18 to 20. And it reminds me of that scene in not for the love of the game, but if you build it, they will come. Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams, yeah.
When his dad comes forward.
Oh, and he's young. Yeah. Yeah. You're getting a little, aren't you? Yeah.
Yes.
My sweet little sensitive man.
No, but I think about
You're the
that's
girl
why I
in
need to
the
go on a girls
relationship.
trip. I know. I would have a good time on a girls trip. Talking about my father, but when we're in heaven, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what our
Our life
age.
age, our heaven age. I do think I'm a little bit older than you. Like, yeah.
Well, obviously, it's at least 8 years right now.
Whatever.
50,
But I mean,
57.
I'm done when the sun goes down. I don't partake of complete ridiculousness. I'm not shutting down the club. Nothing like that.
You're not shutting down the club.
Yeah, I'm not shutting down.
All
the
right,
club.
so I'm gonna.
I will shut down an all-you-can-eat buffet, though.
You will indeed.
I will shut that down. What else? What other questions you got for me?
Well, I've got a couple of things here. So our producer, once again, when the topic was decided that we were going to talk about aging,
Yes.
came up with 3 great articles. I'm not going to read all 3 of them, but I do think this one is pretty good. It says 12 steps for staying young at heart. Okay, so these are steps for us staying young at heart.
Okay.
Okay, number 1 is don't look in the mirror.
Okay.
It says, seriously, don't. We are our own worst critics. What we see when we look in the mirror is someone who is our age. The laugh lines, the battle scars, the gray, the non-existent hair, while others will see someone fun to be around, who gives good advice, is an all-around good friend.
Okay.
And that's kind of an interesting thing because it's like, I do have scars. I do have gray hair. I do have wrinkles. I do have all these things. I have weight that I didn't have years ago.
That's all life experience, though.
This neck.
The turkey neck. I know.
it's
I hate
awful.
the
It's like-
turkey neck. Why do we have that?
Because we don't have Lisa's doctor. But if we went to Lisa's doctor, she could
She
totally
does not
cut
have
that
a
out.
doctor. You're going to make her very upset.
Well,
You gotta
I
quit
love
saying that
Lisa.
stuff.
I know. She has the best boobs of a 6-year-old. So, 12 steps for staying young. Don't look in the mirror. Do you like that?
I guess. I don't know. I definitely think that my age is showing up in my face more in the last few years than like
it is
all of a
funny how
sudden-
women notice. Like, I have a certain friend that I went to high school with that you always like, she has the most beautiful skin.
Oh, Tanya.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
she does.
She has the most beautiful skin. And it's like you notice things that men don't, I guess. Number 2, find something that you loved doing while you were younger and try it again. So what's something that you loved doing when you were younger?
I told you I'm like a 35, 40-year-old, and I love to watch TV. I love to go
But
to
you did
plays
ballet
and
with
movies.
Melissa. And
Yeah, I did. I took dance classes.
do you want to do ballet
and
again?
I don't think I could get my leg up like where it used to go.
Well, it says this lady was always involved in sports while growing up. Now she has a blast playing in her over 50 softball league in her hometown and competes in senior games. Yeah, I do have friends that compete in the senior games, and everybody's playing pickleball now,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
like, I'm too old and cranky to play tennis.
Although, you know what? This kind of makes me think of like, I did not grow up on a farm. I did not grow up with, knowing animal husbandry. So when we moved out here, I'm all self-taught. I went to the computer. I went to the library.
You're not self-taught. You learned through 4-H.
Yeah, but I didn't go to agriculture classes in college. I didn't do any of that stuff. I had to do that on my own after 40.
Correct.
And I feel like every day or every time we, embark on something new with an animal, I'm learning something and I'm expanding my mind because I didn't know how to do that stuff when I was young, but now I do. So
12 steps to staying young at heart. Number 1 was don't look in the mirror. Number 2 was find something you loved doing when you were younger and try it again. Number 3, be active in your community.
Oh, I definitely think that we are active in our community.
Well, it's being involved in church and being involved in 4-H.
But outside of your children's activities, because I think if that you are only involved in what your kids are involved in, like you only have friends of, like your kid plays baseball or whatever, or they're in college sports, and you're very involved in going to those activities and so. Socializing with those parents only, then when your kids are done doing that, that was not really for you.
Yeah.
That was,
Well, I like this. Be active in your community. We have I have like multiple faith communities that I'm involved with. I have.
Really?
Yes, I know. We've talked about that before.
Such a shocker.
But it's like recently I was approached about running for the school board here. And I've talked to some people here locally, and I said, because here's the issue.
Scares me a little bit.
It scares me a lot. But what's interesting to me is that we live in a rural township, which is part of a bigger school district. And this particular election, somebody has to be elected from our township, from our little rural township. So Sylvia was the township. Well, she was the school board member forever.
We have to be elected? I don't understand why.
So there's like 7 spots on the school board. Each election cycle, 4 go up at large.
So Wayne Township has to have representation.
Wayne Township has to have representation. Huh. The person has to live here in order to run, but the entire district votes, but it has to be somebody from Wayne Township.
Okay.
So for years, Sylvia Schupler, Allison's mom, was our school board member. Awesome. Loved her. You're doing a great job. Everything's great.
She's ready to be done.
She's awesome. No, she was done. She tried to recruit me for this about 10 years ago. And I declined.
Well, I thought she was just done like 2 years ago.
She was done 2 years ago or 4 years ago, whenever it was.
2 years ago.
It
was before the kids got
person
married.
who won is an extreme liberal woke individual who is all for changing the schools at such a drastic level. We don't have conservative representation for our township. So I was approached, I had a conversation, and I literally told the person, if you can't find anybody better than me, I will do it.
Because it's scaring me because now I'm getting texts from people that are like, oh, we're so excited that John is going to run for school. And I'm, what?
There are thousands of people who live in our township that would be more appropriate than me. Number one,
more available than you.
No. I make myself available. You make yourself available for things that are important for you, and I would make myself available.
But you're
for
not here a lot.
But I told them at the very beginning, I don't think I'm the good person for the school board because we actually pulled our daughter out of the school.
That's true.
And we sent her to another district.
Although, take that though, why did we pull our kid out of the school system? What can you go in there and change so that other parents don't have to do what we did? Well,
I'm just telling you, the school, in my opinion, I will not get elected because if people actually know that I think the kids should be learning and not should be learning traditional things and not all the activism and all the kind of stuff that's going on. So be active in your community is a good way to stay young. Another one, exercise your mind and your body. So a lot of people who going back to the community real quick. My mom lives in a community. She lives in a community. You know who's like the mayor of that place? Lois. She watches, make sure everybody only gets one donut. And she always makes sure that everybody has a place to sit for dinner.
One donut.
And she is involved in her community. And the fact that even my mom, she plays bridge every single Thursday, and that's her community. She's involved. She's engaged. She, is doing that. They had a pitch-in at her bridge group. And everybody was to bring something. She wanted to get involved so much, she asked you to make the cheese ball.
Oh, I was like, did I miss this? Yeah, no, at Christmas, they had a pitch-in thing. And I said, Grandma, what do you want to take? And she goes, whatever you want to make.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so being active in your community, it's preparing meals for a local homeless shelter, making blankets for children and the elderly. It says, take a walk on the beach. We don't have a beach. Turtle patrol and help cordon off and monitor active nest for protecting the turtles.
Well, yeah, and this makes me think of Tony Lima as well, because she is super talented.
She does crochet.
And she does all these cute little, critters that she makes, and they're darling. And she has started to kind of make them for different, people, their kids, and maybe different things like that. And then my other friend Lynn, who also is pretty talented with crochet, she does that too, and she'll do them for kids in hospitals and things, whatever. So they're using their talents to keep them involved.
So the next one, exercise your mind and body. It says here that somebody shared a story. Her father was close to 100 when he passed away and was as clear-minded as when he was in his 40s. That was kind of my dad. She recommends exercising every day. My dad was a runner. He loved to exercise. And finding things about life to enjoy, family, volunteering, etc. Dad always said to keep learning and walking forward, and now that's my motto too. I think it's important to keep walking forward because people do get stuck in their past, their rut, their past, whatever that may be. Like my friend Cliff. Cliff is 58 years of age. Well, not yet, 57. And he has a beautiful townhome in downtown, midtown Atlanta. And at this age, he decided he's going to move and he wants to be by the beach. New people, new environment. And he's sending me pictures now of sunsets on the beach and the bar that he's going to and the friends that he's meeting. And it's like, that's good. It's like he's doing that because it's keeping him young. He's moving forward. Number 5 on the list, turn away from negative people.
Oh, yeah. I'm absolutely all about that. That's the whole thing, like the question that you asked, what have you
I love
what
this
do you
article.
like about being older? And I think that I just don't put up with the BS anymore.
So this article describes them as these people as energy vampires.
Yeah, sucking it all
because
out.
they will suck every bit of energy from you if you allow them. You are better off to have your circle of friends include those who are setting goals and making plans to achieve them, rather than the ones who are playing the blame game or holding their own self-pity.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's one thing about when
I'm
you're friends when they need concern. Everybody goes through hard times.
Well, that's different than just all
Energy
the
vampires.
time sucking the life out of you.
So here's another one. Get rid of things that are okay, first off, we've been married for a long time. We've established that we're going to be married in the future.
I hope so.
So get rid of things.
Not you.
Thank you. That are bogging you down. So it says for one of the people, she confessed that she needs to work on this one herself. This recommendation is multifaceted. For some, it can mean that you don't need to keep your mother's piano around anymore because she's not in it. Or she's always in your heart. For others, it can be ridding yourself of guilt from years past. For now, there is not a time machine. You can't change whatever it was, so let's make new friends and enjoy new experiences. So get rid of things that are bogging you down. Do you think there's things bogging you down?
Well, if we want to talk about physical things.
Your shoulder?
Oh, God, it's just driving me crazy.
Do you cry every day about it?
I do.
Every day?
Pretty much.
Not because you're in pain, just because of the situation you're in.
I just hate it so much.
You're used to being the mom to all.
Yeah.
You don't like being driven around, do you?
I don't like that. I don't like not being able to put my hair in a ponytail. I just don't like it. It's horrible and It hurts. But that's not what I was going to say. What I was going to say is when we redid the upstairs.
Yes.
And I know we've talked a little bit about this before, but when I had to go through all of my hoarder child's closet and bedroom, there were things that I wanted to keep for sentimental reasons and stuff like that. So I had bins, I put some here, and then this stuff we threw away. You had a big dumpster. We threw stuff out. And when I would go back then, because it took several, trips or time, to do it. Then when we moved it all into another bedroom and we were moving things back into the kids' rooms, and I had gone through the things to move back in, I looked at everything and I thought, why did I keep this? Even the second time, then I was getting rid of it. So now I'm able to get rid of things because I was holding on for such a long time. Yeah. And now you're your mother. You just throw things away. It's really hard for me to throw something away. if it has any kind of sentimental value.
Okay, so my mother has taken throwing things away to another level because
Lord, it doesn't even make it to the cabinet or to the countertop.
She would accept a gift and, oh, this is great, and then like hide it and then dispose of it.
Now she just goes, oh, do I already have this?
Or she takes
she gives it away like in front of the person.
Like, she's like, oh, this is great. Here, Suzanne. Okay, here we go. Number 7, be filled with curiosity and wonderment. It says, one of my friends, when we are young, we are filled with curiosity and wonderment over the smallest things in life. A creek in the backyard, clouds in a blue sky, a rainbow. Remember these feelings and opportunities to let your inner child always be with you. There are always occasions to learn something new or explore a place you've never been. I love this one.
Yeah, because I like going someplace I've never been.
I love seeing new things. I like doing new things. I like reading new things. I like tasting new things.
We loved this trip, Jules and I, because we had never been to these places, and granted, it was just like one day, and
if I was with you,
and
I'd
the
be
whole
like,
cruise was just
I've been to all those places, so it's not like a good
big
thing.
Adventure. You know, we were experiencing all these new things.
But being filled with curiosity and wonderment, I think that's one of the number one things why I love nature. Well, I just, it's like, I remember when I'd ride my horse all the time out at the park. There was a set of trees that you could just go by and touch the leaves as you went by. And it was there was always something new to see in the park, new growth and things of that nature. Okay, number 8.
That's why I love to sit on the porch
and to watch sunsets. So stay together. No, sorry, that was me saying that. Number 8, stay connected and engaged. It's important as we grow older to not let our circle of friends get smaller.
Well, ours definitely hasn't gotten smaller.
Says somebody who's worked in recreation all his life, said it's important to not become sedentary. If you retire, you should have a plan for something to do after retirement.
You'll never retire, though.
I won't retire. It says, but this guy says, my dad retired from one job at 60 and then went to a local hardware store and retired from there at 86. So
yeah, that's like your dad.
And my dad retired at 65. And that lasted 3 months. And then he went and became a substitute teacher and found more, part of that. So stay connected, stay engaged. I'm not going to retire. I look at Dill as my inspiration. He's well into his 70s and is on fire as much as he is before. It's just I like the energy. I think
our kids not driving. I mean, as much as it is a pain in the ass for the most part, them not driving keeps us connected
to them. Yeah,
to them, and also keeps me busy. So, I know what's going on all the time.
Stay connected and engaged. Number 9, have faith.
Well,
so Rosemary, teacher and mother, said that faith in God is important to her. We'll expand on that to having faith in the goodness of other people, and faith is something bigger than yourself. I think it's more than just something bigger than yourself. I think you need to have faith. Our faith is what roots us.
Yep.
And the more I get older, the more I'm diving into even deeper parts of our faith that, I think the beautiful thing, everybody who knows us knows that we're Christians, but the mystery of Christ, it's just the more you get into it, the more there is. And it's just, it's a never ending. Right when you think you know a lot,
Yeah, right now we're doing Old Testament, and Lord knows, I mean, I took it in college. I've listened to it my whole life, but I'm still, the way that it's being presented, the way Mark and Ben are presenting the Old Testament right now, is I'm learning new stuff, and I'm really enjoying that it's all new. When I went through RCIA, there were things all
about the history of the Catholic Church.
I learned so much, even about things that I already knew, though. I mean, stories that I already knew in the Bible and different things like that. To get a different perspective is learning something new.
Yeah. Well, I'm having a blast right now going through that's a 2-year school of ministry.
That's for 2 years?
For 2 years, and Monday nights.
Every Monday night for 2 years now, you're not going to be home?
All right, so I'm already in quarter 3. So I think we're doing okay.
Yeah, but I thought it was just like...
But this has been incredible because it's the Encounter School of Ministry, and it's a bunch of Catholics who are...
Do you get a little degree when you're done?
I think I get to print it myself, yeah. No, you don't.
No, Denise will print it for you on her printer because we don't
that's
have
true. Our printer didn't work. But this Encounter School of Ministry, I'm really having a great experience because it's everything that we already know about prophetic arts and speaking in tongues and healing and all these things, the spiritual gifts and the way the Holy Spirit moves and things that you learn through your Pentecostal upbringing. And I was exposed to in my charismatic experiences, things of that nature. But it's rooted under the Catechism of the Catholic Church. So it's a beautiful thing. So, but I think according to that, I will stay young at heart.
I think, yeah, we're on a good track.
Okay, last 3. Live the adventure.
Well, that we are. I'm telling you.
Well, this is
every day.
About people advocating for travel and going out to play.
I'm telling
Traveling
you.
helps you live life to its fullest, to meet new people. Did you meet some new friends on the cruise?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, and while I was in the pool, like just kind of chit-chatting with some people in there, the girls, it was a husband and a wife and another husband and wife. They were together on the trip, and she was from Indiana. They live in DC, but she was from here, and so we started talking, and we talk about,
Are you Facebook friends now?
No, we're not Facebook
official.
friends, but we talked about racing, and we talked about Ed and all this kind of stuff. And anyway, long story short, we ended up talking about the podcast because
really?
I said something about, well, they asked me how long I'd been married, and I said 34 years, and
I like it when people don't know me and they don't realize that that's an accomplishment.
yeah, and I
Because
said all
like
it
34
is.
years married to me is like 68.
Yeah, truth be told, but I said,
Or
we
it's like
started
15.
this
We're never really together.
because we wanted to just sit down and have an hour or so where we just talk. And I said, and why not record it? And our kids can look back and go, God, my parents were idiots. But, and the guy left and he goes, I'm going back to the room and I'm going to look up the podcast. And I saw him the next day and he goes, Marry Your Best Friend podcast. I mean, it was just
That's
kind of
hilarious.
funny. Yeah.
That was funny.
So I did meet new people.
If only they lived in Antarctica, that'd be helpful.
yeah,
So-
that would help our demographic.
So it says traveling helps you in this life to live to the fullest, meet new people, encounter new ideas. So like that's the big thing to me. I'm excited.
This was a whole new idea. I mean, look at this.
yeah,
This
yeah.
was
But
something
when I'm
new.
talking about new ideas, is like today I've got a call at 1:30 with one of my friends over in Portugal, and we're talking through.
Oh, like new cultures.
Yeah. I'm working on a cultural immersion program next summer where I'm going to Portugal with 300 18 to 25-year-olds. This is all under scouting, and we're going over there. I'm calling it Portugal with a Purpose, and we're trying to do all these multicultural experiences for them. But the whole point of it is getting to know somebody from a different. I'm running some logo concepts by that we've done to make sure they're culturally sensitive and that they're not offensive because
It's different,
Well, Portugal, the way we are about our American eagle,
Yeah.
they are about their rooster.
Rooster.
The whole long
really?
thing. Yeah, and so we've got some logo concepts where there's
That's interesting.
yeah, but we've Americanized their national icon. So it would be no different than the Portuguese taking
So they
the
would
American
like
flag.
my chickens that I have all over
So anyway, but there's a certain style and a certain design. I've gone through that whole thing, and then I personally preferred another logo treatment that there's a second logo treatment that has like an American eagle, but it's then been treated like the Portuguese design their rooster. So it's an American eagle, but it's designed like the Portuguese. We want to make sure those are both culturally acceptable. So I'm having a conversation. So travel, expand your mind. Side note: the logo that I actually designed, that nobody on the team is creative, and they don't like my ideas, but I have.
Which would not be the first time that you've experienced that.
I designed a Portugal with a Purpose with this rocket blasting off because it was like U.S. American. I wanted to say America without the American flag or without a Donald Trump hair or anything. Because mainly people around the world don't really like Americans. And especially in a scouting context, you want to be part of the group. And so I had this rocket blasting off and a scout with a necker holding onto the rocket and stars coming out. And it was
They didn't like that?
They don't like that. And then somebody suggested, and this is, now, first off, the people I'm serving with are brilliant people. Like one's an educator, one's a college professor, one of the most smartest guys you'll ever know. He's a silver buffalo, silver antelope, silver beaver, all this kind of stuff in the Scouts. Highly decorated, awesome guy. But he was like, ooh, how about this? How about if we do like the lander that's going to go to Mars next year? So he was thinking, he was taking the rocket thing and making it very NASA-ish. And then I sent back and said, I kind of like, why don't we show the one that just tipped over, like the failed, I was like, I kind of like that idea. And then one of the girls responded back that my rocket was phallic in design. So,
Oh, good Lord.
well, and I said, oddly,
Shoot me now.
I said, oddly, you say that because in design, that's actually a motivator and there's a reason behind it. I said, but only if it goes either straight up or to the right. Like if you have the phallic design and you do it to the left, nobody that doesn't like it. You'll notice like in that prime box over there, all the logos are going from left to right.
Huh.
So look at that. It's got this smile, but it's everything is phallic to a woman who's not married, I guess. But anyway.
I would have never thought that.
So live the adventure. All right. Laugh.
Well, we do that on the regular, don't we?
This podcast, not so much, but yeah, it says this person reports to call for response saying humor and laughing are important to staying young. One comments, I learned to laugh at myself. Some days I'm pretty entertaining.
I think I'm entertaining all the time.
Yeah, I cackle a lot. In other words, don't take yourself too seriously or you might miss an opportunity to refill.
I think that is 100% true. Do not take yourself too seriously.
Gosh. There's a guy that lives down the hall.
Let that shit go.
There's a guy that lives down the hall from my mom who's a former pastor. And you see that guy and you just light up. You know? He's just happy. It's like, I want to be that guy. When people see me, I want them to like smile.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It'd be so much different than when they turn and walk away. Like I'm used to, but if they're laughing when they walk away, I guess it's okay. Okay, last one on these 12 steps to staying young at heart. Number 1 was don't look in the mirror. We talked about that. These are pretty good, actually. Find something you love doing when you were younger and try it again. Be active in your community. Exercise your mind and body. Turn away from negative people. Get rid of things that are bogging you down. Be filled with curiosity and wonderment. Stay connected and engaged. Have faith. Live the adventure. Laugh. And the last one is make up your mind.
To do what?
It says, I think his observation is important to take to heart every day. Not getting old is a mind over matter. I require 2 things before I get out of bed each morning. Number 1, I have a choice to be happy or sad. I have a choice to be happy. So that's a choice. Number 2, everyone I meet, I plan to make them smile, and that makes me smile. So make up your mind when you wake up in the morning, do you want to make a difference? Do you want to touch somebody's life? Do you want to, so it's like...
well, that just makes your life purposeful. Yeah. I think, you want to have purpose. And if you don't feel like you have purpose, that's when you start just sitting around and doing nothing and not learning anything and feeling old.
Yeah, I love this. Is no matter where you are in your life's journey, you can take action to remain young at heart. Age is just a number, and for many of us, is not applicable in our everyday lives. Because our age doesn't really matter. My job, I could do it 25, I could do it 70.
I'm starting to feel like age is bothering me, though, like the number itself. And I think it's just because I realize, what were my parents? I keep thinking, how old were my parents when we met? How old were my parents when Johnny Deere was born? How old were my parents when, things that we are doing now?
I worked with a guy who retired at 59 because his dad died at 59.
Really?
Yeah, Alf Tuggle.
Was he scared that he was
There were a lot
die?
of people who were upset that he retired early. Like he literally retired 6 or 7 years early. But he said, my dad died at 59. I want to make sure that I enjoyed my life.
The rest of his life.
And I thought that was interesting because it was like, because how many times do you hear about people dying right after they retire and things of that nature? And so, and he's doing great. It's not like, he's enjoyed early retirement, those type things. But yeah, I like that. Wake up every morning. Make up in your mind. We are young as we want to be. Age doesn't matter.
Unless you hurt all the time. And it is hard. It's hard to get over that hump of hurt.
And sometimes you are just old.
You just feel your body can't keep up with your brain.
I was at this thing the other night and they were saying, does anybody need to be prayed for? Is anybody looking for healing? And they kept waiting and waiting. And finally they looked at me and I was like, you get to my age, something always hurts.
Yeah, sure. I wake up every day. Yeah, I got home from the trip the other day, and I'm in the chair, and when I got up, my knee was like going out. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I can't move on the right side, and now my knee is going out.
Oh, that's funny.
It's not that funny.
It is funny. Okay, so once again, we talked for over an hour about aging, which the older you get, the quicker this time goes. So there you go. This has been a significant amount of our time.
Our day is gone now.
Yeah, it is. Hey, this is a podcast we did during the day. Usually we do it at night, so now we're like, we got a whole day to do. So
get to the ortho.
All right, so next podcast, you ready for what the topic is?
I'm scared. Go ahead.
Next topic on this podcast is one of us loves doing housework, maybe?
I don't think either one of us loves doing housework.
No, we don't. But the topic is going to be one of us.
I like to pay the people to come do
one
housework.
One of us does all the housework. AKA the battle of the household chores. We're going to explore the comical dynamics of divvying up household chores and the never-ending quest, the perfect chore chart.
I don't think there is a chore chart. I think it just says all that says mom.
Maybe.
Yeah.